Clinton.
Ukrainian officials, high Ukrainian officials, have said that Russia in effect invaded Ukraine over the last month, that somewhere between 3,000 and 10,000 Russian soldiers crossed the border. Do you think we should call this an invasion and act in a way, in a sense, appropriately?
Well, there's no question they invaded Ukraine. And there's no question of what Mr. Putin's tried to do. They've also armed the eastern Ukrainians. They've done all those things. But I think Ukraine elected a very prudent and strong president. He's trying to negotiate an end to this that enables them to have a relationship with Russia without paralyzing their turn to Europe and their attempt to reap the economic and political benefits that would entail. And I think the United States should support building Ukraine's capacity to defend itself, but even more importantly, we should be doing what we can, including groups like our Global Initiative, to help them succeed economically, to reward their choice to be free and independent. I think it's very important that the world not buy the propaganda that is going over the Russian media that Ukrainians wanted to have an adversarial relationship with Russia. That's simply not true. All they wanted to do was to have a good relationship with Russia and a good relationship with Europe and the West and be a bridge between the two. Why he doesn't want that remains something of a mystery to me. I mean, I think he's got an outdated view of how they get more influence and accumulate more wealth. But he's in these negotiations now, and I think those of us who are outside it should not complicate his job by saying too much until we see what he can negotiate.
You know, a lot of Russians, including Mr. Putin, blame you, in a sense. They say NATO expanded. We were told NATO wouldn't expand. They expanded very close to our borders. Then the Clinton administration intervened in Kosovo over our objections. So they argue you pushed us, and now don't be surprised that you got a backlash.
If you can find one Polish citizen who agrees, I'll be glad to take that seriously. I mean, look, first of all, I never told them NATO wouldn't expand. I ran for president advocating the expansion of NATO in 1992. And I had a conversation with Boris Yeltsin, whom I respected very much, and who was a much better president than he got credit for, as we all now see. And I said, look, I don't think you're going to invade Eastern Europe, but you're not going to be there forever. President Yeltsin, in return for Ukraine getting rid of all of its nuclear weapons and sending them to Russia, signed an agreement with me and the then president of Ukraine saying that Russia would always respect Ukraine's territorial integrity. President Putin said, it was an agreement, not a treaty, therefore I'm not bound by it. I just think it's a bum rap that expanding NATO caused all this. You know, you made me invade Georgia and you made me invade Ukraine because they were the only two countries on my border that weren't part of NATO. I mean, come on, it's not a credible thing.